So this is like a real collaboration between.
That's actually beautiful, because back when I was doing Six Sigma with Naranda Falkerbridge days, the finance person at the end of the project had to sign off that the savings was actually, let's say, $1 million. But they really weren't involved in the project from the beginning. But with this approach, the person working on the project could take a quick stab at the business case, and then the finance people could make suggestions or get involved the whole way through, as opposed to signing off on something they weren't terribly involved with all the way through. Yeah. That's a great advantage.
My experience is that finance tend not to be involved enough in performance improvement. In transformation programs where the numbers get really large, they much more so. But it's often not immediately obvious what finance might add, and then when you include them, they ask questions, and then you learn that they actually, surprisingly, they have actually got a lot to add. And I've seen great benefit from better involving finance. Right. Yeah, I think other things are things like. One of the things that's hard to imagine is because we come from this sort of this world of apps these days. An app on a device tends to have quite a narrow scope. Apps for like where you're doing that for conference calling, like Teams, sort of focusing on one thing. And there are some I've seen some companies have got databases for best practice, and that's known, right? But what you really need is, it's actually about 20 different apps, right, that have been properly integrated, properly knitted together, and not by a developer, but by someone who spent a career doing performance improvement. And that's really what KaizApp is. It's built for leaders. It's built for middle management. It's built for shop floor improvement as well. It's built for finance to do the benefit tracking. You've got the AI is integrated, so you can solve any problem now with AI. I think we're going to come on to AI a little bit later, but we've integrated AI, so you've got unlimited support whenever you want it. And you can be on it all day, asking, going through a series of questions to help you either solve a problem or to provoke that thought that you might not have had otherwise without being prompted by something. If lean coaches, like I've been one, and I think you've been a Six Sigma coach yourself, and our audience contains many other lean coaches and Six Sigma coaches. We have limited capacity. We can't support an unlimited number of people, and we do, things slow down, and then you have a risk of stall. So to have built into the tools and the templates and the documents you're using, to have built in unlimited support to solve problems built in right there, and in such a way that the coach can see the history of the conversation. You can chat with your coach, your manager. You can have that collaboration with chat messages, but you can also do the same with the AI, and that whole trail will be there so that you can see that and actually help to unblock people in the improvement efforts. It's an enormous leap forward to have that so the real emphasis here on properly designed, properly integrated, designed for the customer, but for the different types of user, so that they have precisely what they need. And the result of a system like this is that everything is always up to date. I mean, you might be late putting in a financial, the actual for the last month, right? But everything is there. The whole history is there. The conversations are there. So, we can see where everything is live, and then for all the improvements that we've done 3 years ago or 5 years ago, and most of the people have left the company already, you can find it all. You can search it in seconds. So I think improvement has been the role of improvement has too long had very fragmented technology, right? So what we can do with a system like this is say, well, let's say we're doing an improvement and we're using for example, data mining, the data mining opportunity.
Right.
Well, okay, well, that's a project. We can have that in KaizApp and track that. Okay. Well, we've got a performance improvement project. For example, we want to reduce the lead time by 50%, right? Okay, well, we can have that in KaizApp. We can track the goals and the business case and all of the actions and the project plan. And it can keep going. All the different types of improvement at all the different levels can all be structured in KaizApp, all tracked there. And now you engage, now the leader's engaged. All the owners of all the improvement projects all have an exactly the same understanding of what improvement is, what the improvement cycle is, what the steps are, how we do a plan, how we write a problem statement, so that we don't have there's a particular, I digress, but there's a particular one of thousands of features in KaizApp. There's a particular feature where it guides you to create the perfect problem statement. Works for everything. And so the point is, you can have this incredible standardization without even trying. It is all customizable, of course. So that's a very important point. Each organization needs to be able to use the terminology they're familiar with, right? It's very important. So obviously, the application allows for that terminology customization.
Actually, that was one of the questions I was going to ask, because the fishbone, we used one called 6P, and we used our own little categories. But if another company, had 5Es, I guess they can use the one that's built into KaizApp. But if they want to change it to match their own, they can do that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. The fishbone is, there's so many examples to make, but the fishbone is a good example. It's a very commonly used problem-solving tool, right? If I look at what you tend to see happening in plants is, okay, there's an issue. There was a performance deviation yesterday, right? Okay, we had the day before that we had 55 units output. Yesterday we had only 45. We're 10 short. What happened? Okay, something happened. X. Okay, well, right. We need to study that. So let's unpick this. So we'll decide. We'll pick on this as an improvement opportunity, and as part of investigating it, we want to do a fishbone diagram. You start off with a very intimidating blank template. Yeah. There's a lot to fill in. It's a lot of thinking behind filling it in. So this takes time to think through. So what will tend to happen is at some point later we'll book a workshop, and potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. You tell me the number. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people will join a workshop, and for some hours they'll brainstorm. They'll want to be structured, and they'll systematically work through the fishbone and think things through, and they'll do their best to maintain discipline around going at it in a sequence. It takes hours, and then you probably won't finish. You'll probably need another session, which happens another period later. And then if you want to be cynical, this may well help. This may well help, right? It often does. It will give you ideas of what to investigate. But just being a little bit cynical about it, that will probably get written up in a PowerPoint and put in a folder somewhere. Now, obviously, also there's other good practice, which is it may be done on the shop floor on a whiteboard template. That's also quite common. Then the shop floor can actually see it, but a lot of the time they do get written up and just saved in folders, and who can see them? No one can see them then, right? Yep. So the ongoing benefit we get from that, the ability to find that, or for all the people that were involved in that to see that again, can be quite limited. Now, how about a vision where anybody on the shop floor can create a fishbone diagram for any problem in about 10 seconds? How about that? So if I am screen sharing, I think you did screen share a moment ago.
Yeah, there it is.
I know this is an area you're interested in, so I'll show it. Since we've talked about it, I'll show it. So if I'm in KaizApp here, this is the one part of the structure we guide people through. So defining a great problem statement is a Toyota type of terminology. So you've got define the problem, which part of the problem you're going to pick on to actually work on. So clarify. So in root cause stage, if I go to root cause analysis suite, in here there's a number of tools that are about accelerating this. So the problem statement, as we see, has been brought through. battery life fails rapidly during the first. So okay, we've got it's a battery life problem. All right. So we got the fishbone diagram. You see what I mean by my point around it's sort of intimidating. A blank sheet of paper is kind of intimidating. There's a lot of thinking that would go into this. So if I now type over here, machine battery life, I just click away, and then I run the AI. So it's 10, 12, 13 seconds. We have some code behind here that talks to the AI and comes up with the most likely root causes for.
So there you pick all the categories. If you just wanted to focus in on several, you would just pick the ones you want.
Yeah, so you can customize. You can change these if you want. You can customize the defaults. Call it whatever you like. Yeah. So the machine, the AI has helped us to fill in the fishbone diagram, but of course you can add more to it.
Well, that's several hours of work right there.
Yeah. We've run it on very technical things in mining, in medical, in aerospace. It seems to know pretty much everything. It's quite scary. You can add new ones there, or you can edit these. But
right.
the power we've seen is when people run this, almost always, pretty much always, you see when you go, I didn't think about that, and sometimes it's enough to almost attempt a quick win. We may take varying. The next steps will vary, but the acceleration in you can be on the line, run a fishbone diagram. You can equally quickly start stepping through a 5Y process. If I just try and pick something that's a bit more exposure to extreme frequent discharges, and try and pick one that's sensible. If I just picked overcharging inside method,
yeah,
we go 5Y. I just find method, overcharging or undercharging. Apply the filter. Add the 5Y. There's a lot to explain on this page, but anyway, the simple version is you just click on the bot again.
Mm-hmm.
Help me to think through the first 5Y. What sorts of things might I want to be thinking about?
Right.
And then in seconds, you've got faulty charging, battery degradation, incorrect voltage, charging too frequently, charging for too long, extreme temperature, incompatible charging method, manufactured. So it's giving you a whole range of, it's almost a splatter of stuff that relates back to the cause from the fishbone that you're thinking through. And
well, there again, you just saved hours of work right there.
But not quite doing it for you. But why am I speeding? I'm speeding it up by exposing you to a lot of things that you might not think of so quickly. If you go, I'm not having any of those, you can run it again. So don't get on the second one. Just click on the first one again.
Yep.
You can get another set of suggestions. Depending on what it is, you'll be able to run it a varying number of times. But it's a massive acceleration, and it really is the sort of the machine and the human coming together to just think through faster. And of course, what you can do is, on your own, you can take it as far as you can take it, and then then have the workshop and get help.
Yep.
You might have to redo. I mean, you can run rerun that as many times as you like. You can rerun the 5Y. So go and get some coaching. Next step is to get some coaching. But that cycle, obviously with this technology, that cycle can happen very, very quickly.
Well, even within PACE, we've seen things change just around COVID or just around that, where people wouldn't have known about or accepted things like, we can do facilitation virtually. So, with Mural and with Menti surveys and so forth, we can bring in experts from all over the place. So yes, there's certainly a place and time where you want to get the 10 people in the room for 10 hours and go through it. But, there's other times where, you might be located in different countries or different plants, and you could bring people in, or you might need a coach just for part of it, or you might need a statistics expert for part of it. So, people are getting used to, doing a lot of this virtually or a lot of this with technology. And we see it, and I'm sure you see it all the time.
I mean, we've got clients that expect that using KaizApp in 50, 60, 70 factories where they would like their people on the shop floor in the middle of the night in a plant somewhere they get a problem, they like them to just be able to run this. I mean, look how long that took. That took seconds.
Yep.
Seconds to run a fishbone diagram and think through a 5 why. They want that to happen. If something stops in the middle of the night in a plant somewhere, they want people to have the ability to do that quickly. Just guide them through the improvement process. And for people like you and I, we've both done lots of roles supporting, improvement programs at various scales. For people like you and I, it just helps you and I to get more done. It's like one of the reasons I built it is because I hoped I would get to use it. And the idea was I want to spend more of my time doing improvement, working with the people, unblocking the improvements, coaching people to success. I want to do more of that value-adding improvement work and less of the admin, less of the saving files, finding files. I mean, how many times you've been in a meeting, presenting to someone senior, and it's like you get asked the question. It's like, who's got the latest version of that file? Is it on my drive or is it in your email? I mean, right. With this, those days are gone. So people can work away as we've shown, and the manager, the leaders can have the visibility to see if you need to see how things are going, see if you need their help. We use it for presenting, so I don't need to write PowerPoints anymore. The reports, all the benefits tracking is all here, and people can just present. People just present from the application. Mm-hmm. I think we haven't given much of a tour, but you can basically present all your files and pictures, and everything is there.
So you could email things to people. You could share files.
Yeah, I could send you a PDF of this project in a few seconds, or you could say to me, Nick, haven't seen you for a few days. Please will you present to me the sort of top 5 projects that were progressed last week. Mm-hmm. I don't need any prep time. It's all there, up to date. Wherever we've got to, it's there. I can just present to you straight away. I don't now need to think about it, go and write any slides, or it's there, And people just learn to work in that real way. You don't have to be embarrassed about what's not there, right? We've got as far as we've got. Everything is reflected there, and we just move forward. So yeah.